Good morning, fellow mothers. Joy Matt here. Talk a little bit. I have a little hoarse from recovering from COVID, but I'm going to do my best. Maybe the background music. We were listening to Brian Jonestown Massacre, and we're drinking some Red Bull this morning. So let's get these out of the way for a second. Connectors. This is the topic of this tech video. I've not recently, over the last year, but especially the last 6 months, really been working on connectors, the common stuff, and then the not so common stuff. Starting from probably, let's focus on the oldest one. Get the stage lighting a little brighter. You folks might recognize that one. That's the infamous barrel connector, and that goes on the cluster meter. I reproduced that. The minimum order was 3,000 pieces, so needless to say, I have enough for a lifetime. But yeah, it comes with terminals. I used to make the pigtails with all the color-coded tracer wire, but time is not on my side these days, with fulfilling orders and taking care of the store and family expanding and stuff. So, you might notice one theme here, with the exception of these two rascals. Everything's green, and I'll explain that in a minute. The next timeline in connectors would be the ones that are about 730 seconds, kind of the wide spades. There's a couple different variations of those. Latching ones. They had a non-latching series, which I don't think I have any of. Certainly they're not green. It's one of those. But this would be the first generation splash-proof connector, and they were made by Yazaki. Kind of a crappy design. You might recognize them. They were used on the 60 and the 62 front side marker lights, as well as on the 40 side marker lights, and various. They had a gasket in them, and the only crappy thing about them, if I can show that to you, see they have a latch on either side. Once you click it, you pull on one latch with, sometimes you need a screwdriver, or your trusty, there we go, your trusty knife, but you pull on one, you pull on the other, and they kind of teeter back and forth. Not the best design. So I said to myself, well, someone had to improve upon this, so I went to the Simoto company, and I've been working with them, and they run small batches of the older stuff. So you might recognize this ignition connector, Simoto from the, and Simoto got into the colors. I like colors. I like green. I like blue. I hate natural. But this right here would be the Fusible link connector for the 62 and and the 40 in some cases. Oil pressure sending unit connectors, as well as the button connector for our infamous sensor there. It uses that positive grip terminal with a detent ball. So now this is a trip. Wasn't even looking for these, but the 40s and the 60s people, especially 8 of 80 and later, might recognize these. Notice that orange gasket in there? You zoom in on that orange gasket. You see that orange gasket in there? You can see it, hopefully. That orange gasket, these are called splash proofs. This is the 1-pin version of these. And but for some reason they put an orange gasket in. Same problem. These are a genuine Yazaki product. None of these are Chinese knockoffs. I don't believe in Chinese connectors. Haven't found a good one yet, so stick with Japan. But they latch. But when you go to take one out, and you go to the other side, the other one locks, and that's why these are broken a lot. They should have just you can't. It's just a back and forth game, and that's why these are broken a lot, because people get frustrated. You got to keep constant pressure. There's a trick to get these out, but I want to show you. Take a minute and show you how I organize connectors. They're all the way back. They're all the way back. These are my 1 pins. I've got more, but this is just a handy duty, you know, off-site shop briefcase. Keep females with females and the males with males. Try to anyway. I got my seals for the back. But these fishing tackle boxes being clear, this is my preferred method. It may not be everybody's. There's some 2-pin greens. I don't know why they're in there. Really nice set of 2 single pin greens there. And I tend to keep them together. But yeah, that's how I roll. You know, everything's in one box, and these stow real easily. You can see what's in the bottom and whatnot. You know, no tradecraft here. It's just kind of common sense. If anyone hasn't thought of this, well, now you know. This is the best way to go about it. And these will go inside a standard toolbox and stuff. They're pretty indestructible. So there has been some connector advents. So time to have some fun. You gotta have fun every tech video, right? So got some green connectors here. I've been wanting to do that for hours. But yeah, I just got a shipment in from Japan. I got some Sumoto seals for my new taillights, the 5th generation. Some more of the splash proofs. I'll get on to the different color ones in a second, but I want to focus next on the 1st generation micro spade. That's what I call it. After they went to these spade terminals, they went to a smaller terminal, and they started out with Yazaki, but then Sumoto really took over. But you'll find these on like the hazard switch of the 40. That's the first place I remember seeing it, in the emissions connector that goes in the emissions box. But there's your mating and matching latch housings. This happens to be the hazard switch. Somebody on Mode was asking about these recently. I can't remember where I saw it, but these are they were made by Yazaki. Now they're made by Sumoto. But these are some Yazaki NOS. I don't know if you can see the little triangle there, but there's all sorts of. They start out at 1 pin, and geez, go up to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's the 16 pin. I know they go up to a 19 pin. Didn't have any males, just figured I'd show these, but these were used throughout, especially on the FJ60 and 62. They really went over to the 1st generation microspade. So, just putting my green connectors, and I recently bought out the entire USA stock of these 1st generation microspades, 1 pin through 9 pin, because that's the audio, because anything over 9 pins rarely used. So I just completely cleaned out what they had, because I just wanted a lifetime supply. Maybe when I get older and retire, I'll be selling connectors, who knows, but it's sure nice to have the right connector for the job. So I guess if anybody needs any, they're going to have to source them from Japan, if they still have them. These were really hard to find, especially the 1 pin splash proofs with the orange seals. I mean, just crazy to find. But if anybody needs any connectors, you know, I'm not a hardware store, but I tend to have a soft spot for somebody that needs a connector. So, you know, feel free to call on me. PM is best, and give me some time to you know, get back to you. So let's see here. Get all the green ones out of the way. I really like that emerald green. That's pretty sparky. It's too bad they all couldn't be like that. Okay, so next up, how much time we have? We're burning through it. Is I decided to adventure off. There's a green one in there. Somebody sinned. I decided to play with blue because blue's an OEM color. Same with green, and got some blacks in there. But you got the royal blue, then you have more of the FJ60 blue. This is more of the early, and you see a mix of these on the 60s and the 62s, but these are the wider spades. They do get into the blue are in these first generation micro spades as well, like the hazard switch one for the 40, and I think they're definitely used on the 60 and 62. There's a lot of dormant weird plugs on them that aren't used. Who knows what they're for? So black connector. I kind of like black. Anything colored is UV rated. That's really important to remember. UV rated. Their little recovery video, but I love what I do. And catch me if you can.